What is going on, guys? BlazeWolf here, and I just got done watching Spider-Man Brand New Day, and yeah, this is gonna be one for the books. I just want to say that I love John Watts' trilogy. Don't get me started on the first Homecoming. When that movie came out, it instantly became a classic. Like it brought a whole new breath of fresh air to the Spider-Man that we've known and loved. Um, it was different from the Mark Webb series, from the Andrew Garfield series, a lot, because Peter Parker in this trilogy was young. He was a lot younger. And Peter Parker was like around 16 years old when Homecoming came out. So that was a very young Spider-Man that we got, and I loved it. For the most part, everything was good. Some things could have been better, like for example, the web singing scenes. I've always said that I've loved John Watts movies, but the web swinging scenes have not been that good. They just haven't been that good. I'm sorry. Compared to the Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire movies, the web swinging has just not been on point, and I don't understand why. Because I do feel like the web swinging is a big part of Spider-Man. You know, it especially with the cinematography. You want to be able to get those shots, those nice shots of Spider-Man flying in the air, swinging in the air through buildings. You want to get that properly, and we never got that for the Tom Holland era, for the most part. The first movie, he wasn't in New York. He was in New York for the first couple of the first 20 minutes of the film. Then it took place in Washington, if I'm not mistaken. It took outside of New York. Spider-Man wasn't in New York for the second one, for Far From Home either. He went all the way to London, across the country. So we didn't get a proper Spider-Man in New York until the third movie. Yeah, the third movie is when we finally got a Spider-Man in New York. Don't get me wrong, I love Spider-Man No Way Home, one of my favorite movies of all time. But yeah, it was a different type of movie. But it was, for the most part, for what it was, it worked. Spider-Man Brand New Day, when I saw the trailers, I instantly knew it was gonna be good. Not because it's Spider-Man, but because Destin Cretton, I'm pronouncing his name wrong, I'm sorry, he was directing this. So I knew what I was coming into, because he directed Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi was amazing. I loved Shang-Chi, bro. Like, Shang-Chi was so good. And I instantly knew after watching that movie that I wanted to see more of that director. The way that he handles his characters, you can tell Destin puts a lot of work into his job. You know, he likes the characters that he picks, and he tries to make you feel for them. He tries to make you care about those characters, and that's what we got in this movie. You know, like we cared about Sadie Sink's character. We cared about John Bernthal's character. The chemistry between John Bernthal and Tom Holland, amazing. Chef's kiss. It was literally the perfect thing ever. I thought for a second before the movie came out and I watched the trailers, I thought they're gonna tone down Punisher a lot. But no, that's not what happened. You know, Punisher was swearing. Punisher was, he was going to take out people in this movie if Spider-Man didn't stop him. Spider-Man was holding him back a lot. So he was still the same person, just a little bit toned down, but not too much. It worked for this, and that's what I loved about it, because now we will finally see John Bernthal in more movies, hopefully. Also, Zendaya and Tom Holland's chemistry in this movie, amazing. Amazing. From the first three movies that we got of Homecoming, Far From Home, No Way Home, they were just kids, In this movie, you get to see them struggle. You get to see them, having to deal with being adults. Tom Holland is having to deal with being alone in this movie. This movie is a lot about grief and depression for him. Nobody remembers Peter Parker. They know who Spider-Man is, but nobody remembers Peter Parker. So that was a problem for him in this movie, and he had to deal with it. And I love the way they touched it in this movie, because, man, like, you could really feel for him. You could feel that he just wanted for his friends to know who he was already, because he's been alone. I think it's probably been 4 years, maybe less. So a lot of time has passed. You can see Jacob Batalon in this movie. He did an amazing job, man. He really stands out in this movie, and you can continue to see why you like the Ned character. His charisma, the way he portrays. This is the way he portrays his character. He does it very well, and for him it works. And and you can tell that Marvel is setting up that relationship between Tom Holland and Jacob Batalon. It's gonna be crazy in a couple movies. Hopefully, we don't know when, but maybe they decide to, kill off Ned's character in a very emotional way that's going to hit Peter. Like, who knows, they might introduce the Hobgoblin series. I would love to see that. I would love to see Ned become the Hobgoblin. There's a lot of storytelling to do there. Now that he still doesn't remember fully who Peter Parker is. You know, he doesn't know who he is. So that adds a lot to the story, you know? It makes it complex. Also, Sadie Sink, again, like I said, she was amazing in this movie. I won't spoil who she is, but she was amazing. She killed it. I want to see more of her. Tamil Coleman, the director of the Department of Damage Control, he was alright. He was alright for the most part. We didn't see too much of him. Lisa Collins Zayas, if I'm not mistaken, yes, she Hispanic. So I love that they incorporated the Hispanic heritage into this movie a little bit. You can tell, if I'm not, I might be tripping, but they might have been teasing Miles Morales a little bit in this movie, because you can tell by now that they're starting to incorporate the Hispanic heritage into this movie. It's gonna have to deal with a lot later on, obviously, when Miles comes into the picture. I did like that part. She is Jean DeWolf, and if you read the comics, you know that is a very tragic story for her. They did not do it in this movie. They did not kill her off in this movie, and I was kind of glad they did it, because I was liking her character, and I was like, I want to see more of her, because if you guys do it in this movie, we might not care too much, because she's just been in one movie. So I like how they're building her more too. For that's gonna be a very tragic moment if it does happen later on in the future, which it probably will, because you can already see it coming from a mile away that Peter Parker loves this character. You know, he talks to this officer. She helps him when there's crimes and everything. She lets him do his thing, because she knows that, you know, obviously the police can't handle what Spider-Man does. This movie, man, the cinematography was different from the Tom Holland's first trilogy. It was really different. You can tell Dustin took his time with this character in this movie. He knew what he wanted, and he had a vision, and it worked. It literally paid off in such big ways. The dynamic of all four of those characters, like I said, five, it worked for a lot. Now let me get into Hulk. Hulk was top tier in this movie. He was amazing. I want to see more of Hulk. Please give me more of Hulk. No more Dr. Banner. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see Professor Hulk. Please don't give us Professor Hulk. We got him for a couple minutes in this movie, and it worked. But we got Savage Hulk. That's what we want. That's who Hulk is. That's what he's supposed to be. We want to see Hulk be savage, tear the building, you know, tear around the city. We want to see him do what he does. Smash. That's what we want to see him. And we got to see him do it in this movie. The battle between him and Spider-Man was amazing. It was intense. You can tell Spider-Man was using his brains to be able to fight the Hulk, because obviously Spider-Man on a physical fight can't take on the Hulk. The Hulk will literally squish him. The Hulk was getting ready to off in this movie. I'm not gonna lie. Like, if it wasn't for Peter telling him that he's his friend, Hulk would have probably kept going. And you can tell that he held back a lot once he said that was his friend. He stopped. He looked at himself in the mirror, and he backed up. And obviously he doesn't know too much of Peter, because they haven't had too many encounters throughout the Marvel universe. But they know each other, obviously. So Hulk obviously knew who Peter was. The swinging scenes in this movie, man, they were what I wanted it to be. They were amazing. I still won't put them on top of the Andrew Garfield web swinging scenes, because Andrew Garfield's movies will forever be my favorite movies. I'm sorry. You know, I love Tobey. Obviously, Tobey's one of my favorites. But Andrew Garfield's movies will forever be my favorite. He will forever be my Spider-Man. Like, I grew up watching Tobey, and then I got into Andrew Garfield, and that was around when I was like 14, 15, if I'm not mistaken. Watched that in the theater as a kid, grabbing my little popcorn and my little drink, man. Watching Spider-Man on the screen like that, it was different. So I'm willing to say that Tom Holland is the better Spider-Man. But Andrew Garfield will forever be my Spider-Man. Like, he's my Spider-Man. Tom Holland is my favorite Spider-Man, but you guys know what I mean. Anyways, this movie touched a lot on Peter Parker, like I said earlier, of being alone, you know, losing his Aunt May. It really hit him in this movie, you can tell. He was struggling, you know, struggling to find himself. He was so busy getting into the Spider-Man and, you know, into what Spider-Man does, that he completely forgot about his Peter Parker life. He set that to the side to focus on his Spider-Man, and that took a toll on him in this movie, you can tell. obviously, when the mutating starts, it starts affecting Peter in a very, in a very hard way. And he tries to find answers. He goes to Dr. Banner to try to ask him for answers. Banner tells him, a lot of things that he could do it. He could suppress his mutation, but it will come with consequences. This movie has to deal with Peter Parker learning to be himself, to embrace himself as Spider-Man. You can be Spider-Man, but you can also be Peter Parker. You can be both, which you will know a little bit more about what that means towards the end of the movie when you watch it. The post-credit scene, you could stay for it. I would say stay for it because it is kind of important. It's not too big of a deal, but it is important. I would say stay for that. So yeah, it was everything that I wanted it from a Spider-Man movie in a long time. This is probably, I'm not even gonna lie, like I already said before, Andrew Garfield is my favorite Spider-Man, but I am willing to admit that Tom Holland is the definitive Spider-Man. He is the best Spider-Man out of all three. And this movie was probably my favorite Spider-Man movie since Spider-Man 1 or Spider-Man 2, I'm not gonna lie. Spider-Man 2 will forever be up there. Go see this movie, go see it on the big screen. Do not wait for it at home, please. This movie is beautiful. The emotions, you can tell it resembled a lot to Tobey Maguire, how much he struggled in his first three movies as Peter Parker. You can see that in this movie with Tom Holland. You can see Peter Parker's character. Tom Holland is a very good actor, and he showed it in this movie. He knocked it out of the park with this movie. When he found out that Zendaya told him that she did not love him, oh my gosh, that got me, bro. I was like, damn, not my boy Tom Holland, man. Obviously she didn't remember him, but this got me. It touched me. Also, another thing, Tombstone, man, this pissed me off. I thought he was gonna be in this movie. I thought they were just hiding him for the marketing because they wanted to keep him for surprise. No, he was only in here for like 30 seconds and that's it. We got Tarantula, we got Boomerang, we got Scorpion, all for 30 seconds. Well, Scorpion was a little bit longer in this movie because you will see later on how he was, he appeared a couple times in this movie. You can tell that Marvel's using him to save him for later on too. I appreciate you guys sticking with me through this video, listening to my movie review. If you guys want more movie reviews, let me know what movie. Please comment and subscribe. Like this video, share it with your friends. Let me know what you guys thought about Spider-Man Brand New Day. You guys can drop your opinions in the comments below. I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.